What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I have a very special video for you guys today. Tom Henderson agreed to sit down with me and discuss Battlefield 2021, and it ended up being about an hour long. And we discussed some marketing things in general, his switch from the Call of Duty to the Battlefield community, and then at the end we discussed the trailer. And I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to Tom for taking the time to do that. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And I really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope you guys do too. Hi guys, I'm Crash, and if you live on some other planet that's undiscovered under a rock and don't know who my guest is, I'm with Tom Henderson. He is a historically accurate industry insider, traditionally from the Call of Duty community, and he has graciously agreed to talk to me and my small community for a little bit. And I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time, Tom.
Yep, no worries. I've got my trusty whiskey and ready to go.
I was on the fence about porno whiskey. I kind of want to, but I was on the fence about it. I really like.
Start the recording again. I'm all joking.
I like that distillery. Buffalo Trace is good stuff. I drink the Weller.
Yeah.
So in that introduction, I want to get your opinion on this. I almost called you an industry leaker, and do you think that term is like a negative term or a derogatory term towards someone? Does it have like a negative connotation to you?
I mean, I would prefer the word insider. I guess they both mean the same thing. Typically, an insider is someone who I think provides little snippets of information rather than what I've been doing the past couple of months. I mean, the goal would be to be called an insider, but you can't really change people's perception of what you are, you know. So
right, and that's what kind of prompted me to reach out to you was whenever you did some of your first Battlefield streams where you were talking about the leaks. I didn't even think of like the repercussions and more or less the intentions behind leaks. Like leaks can have a purpose. Like in the past, you know, there's been people are unhappy about something, they get some information, they put it out there so the community gets mad and they can get it changed in the game. But there's also, in my opinion, positive leaks like yours that just build hype when, you know, there isn't any official stuff coming out. But I think there's...
Yeah, I mean, so far, I think within the Battlefield community, I don't really think there's necessarily been any good or bad leaks that could necessarily change anything, because we're just not at that point yet where we can see if any changes have been made, because obviously they've not revealed the game. But with Call of Duty, I've been doing Call of Duty stuff for like 8 or 9 years, I think now. There was one massive leak, and it was to do with supply drops. I can't remember which game it was. I think it might have been Modern Warfare or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And that didn't come from me. That came from a different person. But they essentially leaked that supply drops was coming to the game and stuff like that. And the community was in such a massive uproar that they actually did end up changing it and changing the whole monetization system. So it obviously is trying to find that balance. I mean, leaking for me or providing information for me is just to see people's reactions and just have a little bit of fun with it.
Right.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people that think I do it for money and stuff like that. But I mean, since doing this, I'm probably like minus $500 or something. You know, because I'm rewarding people for doing these fantastic memes and giving away copies of Battlefield and breaking my headset with rages and stuff like that. So
yes, if you guys haven't seen Tom lose his cool when the trailer didn't drop, that is absolute gold. Along with that meme of the interviewer that can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Man, I'll put links to those below because I cry every time. Laugh every time I see that.
Yeah, same. I've probably watched it like 15, 20 times. But yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that the rage was actually fake. I'm not sure if you knew or whatever, but like in the live stream that I did it in, I literally said, I'm going to do a fake rate job or something along those lines, and then I did it, and now uh, it's like 50-50, like was it real or was it not, or whatever. But it was fake, and that comes from like my YouTube slash entertainment background, 'cause I've been doing YouTube for like 10 years now.
Right. And that, yeah, I don't know. That's a moment, iconic moment, like for this time period of my life. I'll never
Yeah,
forget that. It was so
yeah.
awesome. Then you say later that someone actually called the authorities.
Oh yeah, yeah. Someone was walking past my house at the exact same time and ended up calling the police. Yeah.
How was that
Uh,
conversation? I was just getting mad at a
well,
trailer.
yeah, yeah, because I didn't want to lie, so I had to kind of explain that a company's going to release a video game. I had to say like video game trailer because the guy was like 45 and he didn't know what video games were, or he did, but he didn't understand the concept of why someone would be so angry. So I had to explain that, and then they understood and went on the merry way.
That's really funny. Um,
But yeah, it was awkward, very
I can
awkward.
imagine. So I was kind of wondering this. You mentioned it a little bit. You've been doing YouTube for a while. Like, what would you also consider like your day job?
So at the moment, I work with various different agencies doing marketing, social media, paid amplification, stuff like that, and then I do like some side hustles. I've got my own agency in which we do all that stuff. The candy business, which you've probably seen on Twitter, like some small promotion here and there. That's still in progress, and then other investments like stock market trading and crypto trading and stuff like that.
So does does some of that marketing experience that you have in the real world, does that kind of help guide your decisions on what kind of information to tease? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. So the way that leaks typically work is that you get an info dump, or you might just get sent the trailer. Like the source might not be the same. It might literally just be someone that you've never heard of before, in which they'll be like, "Oh, Tom, I like your leaks, or I like your information. I've just played tested this game, for example," and then they'll literally just send 2 hours worth of footage. And then you need to go through the process of verifying that and stuff, and then what happens is it either goes two ways. It either comes to someone that doesn't want to leak it and doesn't want to share it, or it might go to someone that just will re-upload the whole thing, right?
Right.
With me, it's a little bit different because I think, I guess it does come from the marketing background where I kind of know how to do it. And like what I've been doing in the past with the Battlefield stuff is kind of my interpretation of how I would have done it if I was working at Dice or EA. So
Right.
like the sketches, for example, I think that they did obviously spoil some things, but at the same time, it left a lot to the imagination.
Right. Cause I mean,
Um,
there's so many questions still. Like there's nothing about graphics or what's in there. They were so vague. They give you an idea, but yeah, I thought they were really tastefully done. And that's something that you talked about in like your first live stream that opened my eyes. Cause traditionally I always thought, a leaker's gonna get stuff and they just want clout, so they're gonna release everything. Like they're gonna,
mhm.
go for the most clicks and stuff. And I didn't realize that you actually put some thought into it and there's some intention behind what you release and what you don't. So I thought that
Yeah,
was cool.
I mean, it's obvious that you're going to get followers and stuff like that from leaking stuff because you're essentially capitalizing on people's hype. It's just it's just the result of what you're doing. In
Unless
terms of,
go ahead.
yeah, yeah, go on.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of like the stuff that I did with the sketches and stuff like that, that was just my interpretation of what I wanted to do with the leaks. Have a little bit of fun with the Battlefield community, um, and kind of show like how I would have done it. Obviously, Dice hasn't revealed anything as of yet, and up until this point, it has been a little bit underwhelming. But like, if I had the budget they did and stuff like that, like I see there being no problem with, or there shouldn't have been a problem with them doing what I did, but doing it more professionally.
Right.
So, for example, if you just had an artist doing the rocket launch sketch, for example, imagine a fully qualified artist with all of the tools, just doing little pieces of that every single day and releasing it on Twitter, for example.
Even some like concept art, like that stuff that doesn't give away the game
Yeah, yeah,
graphics,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah,
And
exactly, yeah,
as Call of Duty's done things like that, right? Where they'll release parts of an image on like Instagram or Snapchat and then people put it together.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's probably where some of the frustration is coming from me personally, is because I'm so attached to the Call of Duty franchise that I understand what good marketing is. I mean, it doesn't matter how you think of the Call of Duty franchise. Call of Duty does a phenomenal job of marketing,
Obviously. Yeah, they sell a ton
and
of games.
like to me, being involved in COD for however long I've been involved in it, and then seeing that soon June boom tweet, it, it like to you know what I mean? Like
Oh
to me,
yeah.
that wasn't it. Like they could have, if the trailer got delayed, then so be it. That is absolutely fine. But when you say, I don't know who said it, but it was like a year or two ago that we need to do better. Like someone from EA stated that they need to do better. They need to relay information to the community, and then you're still doing stuff like that. It gives off a pretty bad impression.
Yeah.
And I think I got a yeah. Go on.
Oh, I was sorry. I was just gonna say. I feel like it goes in cycles, right? Like they'll say we need to communicate more, and then they'll do like two or three community posts, and then it
Mm,
just trails off again. Like
yeah,
so, it
yeah.
seems like a historical thing. And I was gonna get your thoughts on that soon TM marketing, and like everybody has a different interpretation of soon, but I don't think anybody agrees with Battlefield.
Yeah, it could have gone. I mean, it depends on when the trailer was intended. There's rumors going about at the moment that it got delayed for whatever reason, or whatever. I mean, if it got delayed, they should have addressed it properly. They should have done a more thought out post, a more um like something like Cyberpunk, with the yellow, like, you know what I mean, the yellow like post that they
Mm-hmm.
usually did
Yep.
back in the day when it got delayed. Like something that just required more effort, because it doesn't matter how well the developers are doing on the game. It doesn't matter how hard they're developing the game and how many hours they're putting in. At the end of the day, that Twitter account is your number one. It's your number one like portal to communicate with the community. And if it looks like that account is not really bothered, then what does that tell people about the rest of the game?
Right. And I don't understand the soon TM thing because I've been with Battlefield a little bit longer than you have. I started at the kind of the tail end of 4, played a lot of
Mm,
1 and 5. And the last thing that sticks out to me when I see soon was that Al Sun Dan map that people started calling Al Soon Dan or Al Soon Done because it
yeah,
got
yeah,
delayed so many times. And it just seems like a big misstep to start. You're starting like fresh, like you're coming off
mm,
of a kind of consensus disappointment in Battlefield 5, and then you start your very first communication, official communication about the game with soon, and then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a month later before you do anything else. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole soon thing is like a running joke with EA, but it's like you said, the whole point of this game is to start the franchise from the beginning, and you would expect that the social media or the communications or the marketing or whoever was behind that tweet, you would expect that they would understand that and convey it a little bit better.
right.
Um, and yeah, like when they did the Soon June boom, like that just for me that tipped me over the edge a little bit. Like I understand like when I did the people need to get fired tweet, like a lot of people got heated at that, and that was probably the first tweet that I did where ironically people from EA replied to it. Um, which is
it took that much to get any kind of communication.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's ironic that they did that, but it's like I wasn't saying that because I'm the leaker and I wanted to see the game. I was saying that purely from my background, and like even if I didn't leak the game, I would have probably still said it because in this industry, people have been fired legitimately for a lot less.
I believe it because I mean it's all about the bottom line at the end of the day, and if you're doing something to harm that, then you're probably in a corporation like that, you're probably gone unless dice apparently. But I I made a video about that on communication, how I wish they could just be forthright and just nip things
Hmm.
in the bud. Like even the newer communications director said about CrossGen. He's like, I know some people are worried. You guys need to wait for details. It's like, if you see the community worried about something, why can't you just address it? Like right then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really understand it either, to be honest. Like, EA compared to Activision have such a different take on things. Like with Activision, you typically don't have the developers doing what the developers at DICE and EA do, where they're talking on Twitter and stuff like that. And just all of the cryptic stuff that they do, just it's very frustrating. Um, and that's me talking as a Battlefield fan. That's not me talking as a leaker or insider or anything like that. It's just frustrating to see, and I think that I mean either way, people are going to see the reveal, they're going to see they're going to buy the game and stuff like that. But it just it it sets things off very poorly, in my opinion.
Right. And I kind of wanted to make that point clear too. We're not frustrated that the trailer's not here yet. Like they need to take the time that they need to take. We're not,
Mm,
being impatient, entitled people that have to see it when we want to see it. It's just the way you start that marketing and you're already kind of letting people down, putting people out in the dark with very cryptic time frames. It just brings up memories of kind of here we go again, with the
yeah,
cryptic stuff, with the
yeah,
lack of
exactly.
communication.
I mean, yeah, I mean, EA was stating, I think it was the beginning of March, where like the first pass of the trailer was done. I can't remember who said it. Was it Emily or someone
Yeah.
like the head of video or
Lisa
something?
Lisa
Oh
Miele?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, something like that. Like she was saying that the first pass of the trailer's done. The game's on schedule. It's going to be the earliest alpha ever. Like wording like that for then you to say soon in April, in which the Battlefield community expects the trailer to come in May anyway because of past reveals.
Mhm.
And then obviously you had the earnings call and stuff like that. So it was nothing to do with leaks. The community expected that the reveal was going to come soon, and we all expected that it was going to come before that earnings call because that's how it's typically gone before. And then for them to do that tweet that soon June boom, like yeah,
And
it wasn't it.
I think they also should be sensitive to the community that they're talking about. This has been like the longest drought ever of Battlefield content since last summer when they, cut off Battlefield 5, what appeared to be like halfway through its cycle. They
Hmm.
abandoned it. So I think this is the first time, definitely the first time I can remember, but I'm getting older, so I do forget things. But like it's been like the longest time I can remember that there hasn't been any new Battlefield content, and then to string people along is kind of poor taste in my
Yeah,
opinion. But
yeah. I mean, to me, it feels like a B Tech Wendy's account. Like with the way that Wendy's interacts with the customers and stuff, like it's really good, but that's not what Battlefield needs at the moment. They
right,
need someone more forefront, someone who understands what the community is going through right now, and communicate that. Like all this weird cryptic stuff and like really. poorly executed jokes, in my opinion. Like that's not what Battlefield needs at the moment.
And so you mentioned in your past that you played Call of Duty. Have you been a gamer for like a long time, or is it more recent?
Oh no, yeah, I've played games since I was before I was walking. Like I've played games all my life. Um, I had a little bit of a patch when I was, young teenager where I was spending time not at the console. Let's just say that.
Right.
Uh, and then I got back into it, started doing the YouTube stuff, um, then started working with agencies.
Awesome. So we kind of alluded to this. You more or less, I'm not sure on the time frame, 6 or 7 months ago, kind of made the switch to the Battlefield community. I know you tweeted that you gave up your positions at Activision and bought shares of EA, and it kind of signifies to me that you're kind of putting your eggs in the EA basket. And I also kind of want to say something really quick. A lot of people wonder why COD always gets compared to Battlefield because they're different. And I would just argue that they're in the same market space. There's very few
Yep.
AAA first person shooters. There's these two, and then Halo is all I can really think of. So that's kind of where the COD BF comparison always comes from. I think they share a lot of the same target audience. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're a first person fan, a first person shooter fan, player, whatever you want to call it, you've heard of Battlefield and Call of Duty. There's no way you haven't. And I think that's where the comparison comes in. Like, they are both the leading first person shooter titles in that, like, particular, like the AAA market. Obviously, you've got other FPSs, like you've got Counter Strike and stuff like that. But I think just in general throughout history, they've always had that close battle because even though they are different, they are pretty similar in some aspects.
right, I've traditionally played both and enjoyed the differences in gameplay and kind of always played both of them. So
Yeah, I mean, I've mainly been Call of Duty, but since BF4, I started like doing it 50-50 pretty much. Obviously I didn't talk about it and stuff because I wasn't known for Battlefield, but yeah, with the whole Activision and EA stocks, I moved my Activision stocks just because I think they are going to continue to do well, but I think EA has a lot more potential with what they've got going on with this game. Obviously, at the moment, the rumors are that the next Call of Duty title is World War II, and it's in a bad state and stuff like that. So, I mean, just from what I've heard, it just made sense to transfer those positions over to EA.
uh,
Obviously, it's not financial advice.
right.
Uh,
Past performance is not indicative of future results.
yeah,
um
yeah.
so I wondered if there was like something that prompted that decision to kind of come to the Battlefield community and start being a part of kind of the hype train. Was it like, were there several things that led to that decision, or was it like when you dreamed of the trailer, was that like, oh man, like I want to be
Y-
on board with this?
Yeah, I just got the information and I was like, yeah, I'm moving.
Cool.
Yeah, that was pretty much, yeah. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything like that. I seen what I seen, I dreamt what I dreamt, and I moved over.
Right. For those of you playing at home, dreaming means potentially, allegedly, maybe. Anyway, um, yeah. So, given like the experience you have in marketing, is there anything that they have done right so far with this game that you can think of?
No,
Fair enough.
no.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, there isn't. I mean, so from like your perspective, like, because I don't want to like state any like or my opinions be reflected off the leaks and stuff like that, but do you feel like they have done anything right?
I,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
No, the soon thing honestly kind of just a little bit triggered me and made me kind of shut down. And I think it really killed the hype. I mean, you could see that. I mean, you can look at Google Trends and see when they tweeted that and then confirmed in the conference call that, the trailer and everything would be in June. Everybody quit talking about Battlefield. Like, well, just wait, I guess. And
Yeah. I
and it was
mean, yeah,
it
regardless of, like I keep saying, regardless of the leaks, like, I mean, personally, from myself, I never said that the trailer was going to be in May. For some reason, that's become
right,
like a something that's been put over me for whatever reason. But every single stream, or even in tweets, I always stated I do not know when the reveal is going to be, and the May reveal just came from the fact that we got the soon tweet. We had the EA earnings call on the 11th, I believe it was. So we was all expecting it to be around the 5th or the 6th, or whatever it was at the time, and that just coincided with past reveals as well. So regardless of the leaks, everyone was expecting it to be the beginning of May.
right. And yeah, I remember looking back. I looked back at 4, 1, and 5, and they were all in May. And then the soon tweet was in April, right? So
Yeah, the soon
it's
tweet
like
was, yeah,
mid-April when they
yeah. I think it was
announced
like
it with the blog post deal.
it was like the 23rd or some. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was like it was late April, after the whole the game is on track. The game is going to be its soonest ever alpha. We've seen the first pass of the trailer, so just naturally, I think everyone was expecting it anyway.
And right, and it was crazy to me how much hype that single blue Battlefield banner created. Just that.
Exactly.
I can't imagine if they would have done like Instagram pieces together or tweeted, a quadrant of a frame for every other
Yeah,
day
yeah.
or once a week.
I
People would
mean,
be excited.
yeah, exactly, and that's where the frustration came with the soon boom June stuff, because I think USA Specialist said this, who's another phenomenal YouTuber. Um, he said, like, you could have literally done an image with a silhouette of a soldier with a weapon. Like, they could have made it in such a way where you couldn't really tell which time frame it was going to be in. That they could have used a weapon, for example, that is, very similar to a weapon in World War II and a weapon today, or something like that, to like throw people off. It would have
Exactly.
got people speculating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But instead, they decided on 7 or 8 words.
Yeah. I mean, let's give the community that hasn't had anything since last summer to talk about, like give them something to at least get excited about.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
so talking about this COD versus Battlefield, is there, from what you've heard on and seen and envisioned, is there any scenario that plays out in your opinion where Battlefield could outsell COD?
Um. So the first info drop that it got stated that the game was being developed on both past gen and current gen consoles. And this was, I mean, this first info dump was dating back maybe May 2020, I think, off the top of my head. And then all the new stuff started coming in, and there was just no mention of past gen, which led me to believe it was indeed going to be a current gen only title. And then at that point, I was like, yeah, I mean, Call of Duty is going to be past gen. Like, there's no way that Battlefield will be able to compete with that. Now that it is coming to past gen, or we've got confirmation that it's coming to past gen, should I say? Now that we know that, and now that there is obviously the rumors of Battle Royale coming at some point, which I would imagine would be Q1, Q2 next year, I think that the initial sales will be Call of Duty wins. But I think that if this free to play Battle Royale happens, I think a lot of people are going to move over. a
Yeah.
lot of people. I mean, and that's not just because Battlefield is necessarily better than Call of Duty, but the way that Call of Duty have been handling Warzone with the hackers and even the map updates and stuff like that, it just feels like potentially Warzone would be like dead in the water by mid next year, and people would want something fresh and exciting
Yeah.
in the battle royale genre.
It's definitely a unique opportunity. It's almost like when Infinite Warfare was up against Battlefield 1. Still Call of Duty outsold, but I didn't know if Battlefield could actually be bigger this time around, or if it's going to be, if they call it a success, if they sell more Battlefields than they ever have and everyone's happy. I didn't know if there was a chance they could take down the juggernaut, but I I agree. And do you think at this point, um they're pretty much backed into a corner on making a free to play battle royale with the success of Warzone?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they've taken a lot from what Call of Duty has done. I have said this quite a bit, but I feel like Call of Duty has paved the way from how future titles are going to work with the free to play element. Um, and just in general, I don't think people want to see a World War Two Call of Duty anymore.
I
I
per-
mean, we got one. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I personally don't. And
Yeah,
the last one wasn't great in my opinion.
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like it, we got the last one 3 years ago. It was made by the same development studio, and unless maybe they explore the Pacific, maybe like it's just going to be. It seems like it's just going to be a reskin of the original Call of Duty World War Two. So I think they really do have an opportunity to excel over Call of Duty, but it depends on Soon June Boom.
Right. You can't argue like the marketing juggernaut that Call of Duty. And I mean, it, they've done a masterful job of it in my opinion with, I mean, even like integrating Cold War into Warzone. There's times I've played Cold War and I don't really enjoy it, but I find myself playing it to level up guns for Warzone. It,
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
sucks you in.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, right? So there's so many different ways that they could incentivize you to purchase the premium title through Warzone or in Battlefield's case through a free to play battle royale. There's so many different ways that they could incentivize people to purchase the premium version. And I think we're pretty much at the beginning of companies starting to explore that. So it's going to be an interesting next couple of years
Yeah,
to see how all that goes.
it seems like in the gaming industry, when someone has a success, everyone kind of tries it too, like with the battle pass in Fortnite where they made so much revenue, and then
Mhm.
almost every other game since then has had a battle pass. And I,
Yeah. I
I
mean, yeah, you can't. At the end of the day, like people's opinions doesn't matter on battle royale. The numbers don't lie,
right. And
and it's as simple as that. Like we saw it with the EA earnings call with Apex Legends. They was very vocal on the success
mhm,
of Apex Legends, and it does make you wonder if they are looking at Battlefield and eyeing that franchise up. I know people have been saying that, but they already have Apex Legends, so why would they need to do it for Battlefield? Number one, they're completely different games. Number two, Apex Legends is going to die at some point.
right. So they should have something that picks up when it leaves off, essentially in that
Yep.
space,
Yep.
right? And there, I see a lot of people in the core community that get upset about a battle royale because they think it takes development resources away from the main game. And I just, that's another thing where I wish DICE would just explicitly address it and say, we had this many developers working on the core multiplayer experience for Battlefield 1, and we have actually an increased number of people working on the game now. The battle royale is a completely separate studio. I don't know why they
Yeah,
can't just like put people's minds at ease, like just boom, fix it like right off the rip.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, at the moment, we are obviously basing the battle royale stuff off simply rumors at this point. But I mean, yeah, you're right. We'll just have to see when it's or if it's announced how they go about it because I mean, they've got 5 developers working on Battlefield now, right?
Yeah,
Um,
studios.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's not been announced yet, but it feels like stuff needs to start getting announced at the moment. Like when they avoided that question during the earnings call, where he said that there wasn't any game mods to be announced at the moment, that was a big indication that they was looking into that genre.
hmm And if I recall, in this most recent earning call and the ones before that, they've mentioned looking at new modes and new ways to play to keep players in. Kind of screams battle royale.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't heard anything official, and I'm assuming you haven't either. So
Well,
switching over to the Battlefield community, switching over. I wish you had. You probably do too. Switching over to the Battlefield community, is there something that surprised you about the community itself compared to other ones you've worked with?
ah, yeah. As in the community or the game changers or
I mean, kind of the community that's engaged with you, that pops into your live stream, that's in your Discord server, that's doing
yeah,
memes
yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, the passions there is the best word to describe it. I feel like with Call of Duty, like no matter what game if they revealed a Black Ops 2, for example, which I think personally is what the franchise needs at the moment, is a very similar to Battlefield, where it's set 10 to 15 years in the future. I feel that's what Call of Duty needs at the moment. But if that was announced today, I don't think the community would be as passionate as the Battlefield community because I think that the Battlefield community have been wanting this game for a long time.
I think so. Yeah, it's been a drought for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so I want to do one more question on the community and then talk a little bit about the trailer. You have time. Um,
yeah.
so what are your plans once Battlefield launches? Would you like to continue to be a part of this community, or are you going to try to rescue another game from scuffed marketing?
I'm probably gonna stick with Battlefield. Obviously, at the moment, I'm known as the leaker and whatever you want to call me in the franchise. But um, I mean, I've said this time and time again with different parts of what's going on at the moment with the game changes and blah blah blah. I've been here before with the whole situation with Call of Duty, and the plan is to get more involved in the community, do some fun tournaments, stuff like that, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy the game, enjoy the community if it stays with me, with everything that we've been doing. Um, and my goal is to help smaller creators. Uh, it's kind of ironic because I'm ruining people's work with the leaks, but at the same time, I genuinely like to help people. Um, some of the Call of Duty guys that I've worked with, like I helped paid for their rent. I gave them work to help to pay for their rent, and now they're on 500,000 subscribers. So I like to do that with Battlefield and just kind of restart that whole journey again.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think the community is lucky to have you because I mean, and I think saying that you ruined people's work is a stretch because I mean the sketches and stuff really don't show hardly anyone's work. I mean it's just rough outlines and things, and Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I've I've always said that I've commended you on what you've decided to leak because honestly, if I see like one of your sketches and then I see that same thing in the fully rendered 4K 60 frames a second trailer, I'm still gonna
Yeah,
be surprised.
exactly. You'll be hyped as you was before, right?
Right. And
You'd be as hyped as if you didn't see it.
exactly. Yeah, because you haven't seen it. You've seen the sketch, but it
Mm,
gives us something to talk about, and that's what I've said from the beginning with a lot of these leaks and rumors that may come true, may not come true. Either way, we're Battlefield fans talking about the game, and
yeah,
that's it feels good to be doing that again.
yeah.
So
I think that to me anyway. With what I've been doing, it feels like it's just an important part of a reveal, like all the speculation building up to it. Like if I didn't do what I did, like I can guarantee you, we would have had a full leaked trailer in April. I can guarantee it.
hmm, that's cool.
Um, and it would have been the first pass. It would have been, obviously you've probably seen the screenshots floating around at the moment. It would have been that quality.
Hmm,
And then if a leaker released that and we had to wait until June, then that would have been it would have been a
yeah.
disaster.
So you would have had
Um,
a blurry, rough cut version, placeholder stuff in it, the run
yeah,
circulating for 2 months.
yeah, exactly. And then by the time the reveal comes out, I mean, I guess people have their own opinions, but I don't think people would have been as excited. Um, but we'll just have to see when it's revealed. Hopefully, they're doing a new trailer or trying to change things up or something like that. Because personally, I don't like to see the screenshots floating around at the moment.
I
But
I
yeah,
agree. I think I would argue that those are getting close to ruining someone's work because
mm.
you're actually seeing it. Um, so I don't want to take up a ton of your time. I do want to talk about the trailer that you have dreamed about. Um, we already talked a little bit about like what you decided, how much of it you decided to talk about. Um, and then yeah, we just touched on the screenshots. Um, so when you first had the vision of the trailer, um, what is one word that would describe it?
Phenomenal.
Awesome. I think I'm
Yeah,
just excited.
I've there was a like when I first started talking about it and stuff like that, there was a lot of people asking, obviously, is it better than Battlefield One's reveal? Because I think that is considered the best reveal in the franchise, unless I mean everyone has their own opinions, but to me that is the most question, like the most frequently relatable trailer people were saying, is it better than BF's ones? And it legitimately looks like a movie, and there is no way that I could describe it any different. Um, just from the smoke visuals to the destruction to the explosions, like everything looks like kind of like Battlefront 2 in the Battlefield universe, but even better.
That's
Is the best way that I could. That's the best way that I could describe it.
that's awesome because I mean Dice has obviously always been known for their graphics and hear that they're probably doubling down on that and going for realism is really really
Yeah,
good to hear. So
yeah.
since since we have talked about the leaked screenshots going around, is there still anything left in the trailer you think that will surprise the community based on what's out there already?
Uh, hmm. I think that pretty much everything has been revealed. Uh, so that makes me believe that they might be changing it up, or maybe they've got an extended version or something like that.
And
But
that's
yeah,
been surprising to me. I've been a little bit sketched out on showing stuff on my channel and things because I'm not sure how they handle it. Because in the past, Activision. Do you feel like Activision would be striking channels with what's out there?
oh yeah, yeah, 100%. They would strike you for talking about it.
Holy cow.
That's how tough they are. I mean, to give EA credit, they are very lenient on leaks, like they have been in the past. They are being now. I know there's doubters out there that are saying that it's fake and stuff like that, but um, I can't get into it too much. But it's impossible for it to be fake, is what I'll say. Like if it was fake, then it wouldn't just be me getting flack, if that makes sense. Um, but I can't get too much into the details of stuff like that. But like it just yeah, it it's impossible for it to be fake.
Right. And we can't like lock it in and say for sure that's the reveal trailer either. That might be like a multiplayer trailer down the road or something like that. And they might have changed it and things. But once you've seen the leaked screenshots, I don't see how you could argue against those being fake, being at least some kind of artwork associated with the game. It's too good to be fan art. There's too
Ye-
much detail.
yeah, yeah, like yeah. I mean, people who are saying the fake, they genuinely have like hidden agendas. Um, that obviously they're maybe working with EA and they don't really want to spoil any relationships. Like, it's something that I've gone through with Call of Duty before, but yeah, it's it's not fake.
I don't see how it could. Um, so is there, so since a lot of it is, it's still really hard to tell what's going on because they're so blurry. Um,
hmm
do you think that like seasoned fans, weapon and vehicle experts are going to be able to pick out some weapons and vehicles that are going to be in the game? I think people will be able to tell like kind of what models and things of
Yeah,
weapons and vehicles.
yeah. In the trailer that's been leaked with all the screenshots, like within that trailer, there's a lot of placeholders. The leaked audio is from those screenshots. It's from the exact same trailer, so you get a sense of where the trailer was at in production, because obviously they was using voice lines from movies and stuff like that. So you get an idea of where it was in production. The trailer that is being leaked at the moment was from uh, was basically to show to play testers and people at DICE and other studios and stuff like that on and getting their feedback on it. So there is placeholders in it, but once the full trailer comes out, it'll be very, very easy to distinguish what vehicles are there, what weapons are there, um, even like gadgets and helmets and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to see, and you kind of confirmed it, that even though we've seen some screenshots and stuff, there's still going to be a lot to glean from the actual trailer. Um,
Yeah, yeah. The trailer breakdowns are going to be insane.
I
Um,
look forward to taking a stab at it.
yeah, and good luck.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll miss stuff. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Um, and then that goes just to kind of put a final point on that. To the people that argue that the stuff is fake because of placeholders.
yeah,
Um, that the trailer for Verdansk 84 leaked with green screen and stuff still in there. It's not uncommon for an editor or a creator to get a B-roll placeholder just to prove concept without taking the time to actually make that asset until it's signed off on and they know they need to take the time to replace it. So I just saw a lot of people saying there's no way it's real because I hear transformer sounds and stuff. Well,
yeah.
an artist isn't going to take the time to do that and then have their supervisor say that's junk, get rid of it after they spent a week to make that sound. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that.
Yeah. It happens a lot, especially on a scale like this. So essentially, that trailer that is where the leaked audio happened and the screenshots that are floating around right now, it's essentially like a proof of concept trailer where they're getting the feedback from playtesters and whoever else they've shown. And then, like you said, once they get the feedback and the data says that it's good or whatever, then they'll go through the process of hiring actors to do the voice lines, or sourcing their own material to do the gunshots and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Right? Yeah, what you got to bear in mind is that that trailer is from the beginning of March.
Holy cow. Yeah. And I'm sure that's been one of their top priorities that they've been working on. Gotten a lot of
Yeah,
TLC
I
since
mean,
then.
yeah. To be honest, the trailer will probably sound completely different in terms of the voice lines and the guns and stuff like that, and maybe even the music. But I think the music will stay. They've worked with that artist quite a lot these past couple of years.
That's cool. I still think, even though some people have seen some things and we've talked about some things, I think people will still be pretty excited. I know I will be. Um, One thing I wanted to mention too, I see a lot of people ask you about gameplay stuff. Shout out sniper gameplay. um, why why can't you address that based on the trailer? I just want to give you the opportunity to address that because I see it all the time.
As in what the gameplay is going to be like.
Yeah, people ask, like how's the time to kill or how's stuff
Be-
that's really fluid. I see people ask you that all the time, and
yeah,
that's
it's just simply because we're what 5 to 6 months from release. Um, that stuff is all changeable. I don't really like to comment on time to kill and stuff like that because when the alpha comes around, it could be completely different from play sessions. Then when the beta comes, it could be completely different from the alpha. And then when the full game comes out, it could be completely different again. So it's one of those things that I don't really like to comment on because I mean it's something that would fall back on me
right.
if I said the time to kill was Battlefield 5's and then it ends up being, I don't know, Battlefield 3 or whatever, like whatever the comparison is there, like that is something that people will instantly jump to me on and
Right.
say that, oh, you was talking like out your ass and stuff like that.
And
Um,
that has a lot
yeah.
to do with what you decide to talk about too, right? Your reputation. Like, you don't really want to report on things that are traditionally fluid.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that I report on is somewhat finalized. Like I said in a tweet, I think it was yesterday and a few tweets previously. Like these are leaks; they should always be taken with a grain of salt. And that's not me just saying that because I'm doubting claims or whatever, but it's just simply the case. This information comes from the development stage of a game, right? It's information that the developers aren't ready to announce yet.
Hmm.
So it could be changed.
Right. And a lot of stuff does get changed. I'm sure. I'm not a game developer, but I mean, like like the examples that we pointed to, um, playing crash landings and dragging your soldier to safety before reviving was told to us by the developers was coming to Battlefield 5 and it never did. So even things that they say are coming don't always make it into the game. So
Yeah,
that's the risk.
exactly.
That's the risk you take because that's instantly, even if a reliable developer told you something, if they would have told you, dragging soldiers to safety, reviving is going to come to Battlefield 5, and you reported on that, you heard it from Dice, that would have come back on you, not them.
Yeah, exactly. The best example of that is probably, I mean, I'm sorry to go back to COD again, but is the whole Warzone and Ural Mountains
Mm,
map.
hmm.
Um, I'm sure you're familiar with it, but myself and every major Call of Duty insider slash leaker all reporting that there was going to be this brand new map, Ural Mountains, and up until I think 2 weeks before the release, when you was talking about that trailer with the green screen and stuff, that leaked 2 weeks before the update, and then once that leaked, it just proved that the Ural Mountains stuff got changed.
Right.
We don't, unfortunately, we don't have people that we can. Well, in a lot of people's cases, we don't have people that we can just DM and be like, "What's going on with X feature or whatever?" Because you know most of the time they don't know.
And they wouldn't probably last very long at their employment if they
Mm.
got caught with that stuff too. Um, so yeah, we're closing in on an hour. I didn't want to take up a lot of your time. I appreciate it so much. I wanted to ask one last question before to see if you had anything else to add on top of that. Are there any community concerns that you're seeing with you kind of have your fingers on the pulse of the community right now? Are there any concerns that you're hoping to address at the reveal event? So when they have a reveal event, is there anything in particular like you're listening for that you want to hear?
Really, I think that the it's just the communication that needs to be addressed. But I don't really think there's anything that majorly wrong with the game. I don't really think that there's going to be any hate towards the trailer. For example, like the Battlefield 5 trailer. Like I don't like. I think the trailer's going to do well. Um, but it's just getting that communication from the developers and the marketing and stuff. Um, but I think that the trailer will raise a few questions, maybe a few more questions than answers with like stuff like the weather systems and stuff like that. Is it going to be dynamic? Blah blah blah, and that's stuff that hopefully EA steps up to and starts relaying to its fans.
That ideal. So, anyways, that's pretty much all the topics I had to cover. Again, thank you so much. I can maybe speak on behalf of my small community. We really appreciate you taking the time to do this, and hopefully the larger Battlefield community does it well and appreciates the thought that you've put into what information you decide to put out to try to actually help the hype and the marketing of the game a little bit and get people excited, because from where I stand, that's what you did, and I appreciate it. I've really enjoyed talking about it with my small community and with everyone, and I've really enjoyed your live streams and everything so far. And if I think back, if you hadn't have put this stuff out, I really don't know what we'd be talking about. So I just want to say thank you and give you the floor if there's anything else you'd like to add at the end.
No, that's it. I mean, it's been a emotional roller coaster, hasn't it? These past 6 weeks or whatever it's been. So yeah, like I said, probably before you started recording, it's always nice to see creators like yourself doing really well. Obviously, it's on the back of leaks, but I mean, people like yourself have a really bright future with content creation and Battlefield. So it's going to be an interesting journey to watch.
I really appreciate that, and yeah, I can't imagine the stress and emotion that you've gone through, and because I get excited, when I see tweets from you, and when I see your Discord popping off, like I start to get excited. I can't imagine because what it's like for you. So I just
Yeah,
appreciate it a lot.
yeah. I mean, if you want to know how emotional I get, roll the clip.
There you go. We'll end it with that clip.
I don't understand. Screenshots have leaked. The audio's